You're listening to the Pushing Buttons Podcast, the weekly video game podcast where we talk about our ideas, concepts, opinions, and experiences within video games. Thank you for joining us. This week, we're going to be talking a little bit about our most memorable moments in video games. And I'm bringing back trivia.
Oh, yes! High five, dude!
I didn't tell these guys about it until...
I'm so excited!
I know, that's what... Yeah,
oh, sorry for the clapping.
It's all good.
I was
My
really
name
excited.
is Kevin.
My name is Robert.
Hey, this is Kyle.
Yeah, we're on a roll. This is our 24th week in a row. We're almost at a half a year. We're going to keep this train rolling no matter how many of you guys are enjoying listening to us. Thank you for those of you that do.
When you think about it, that's like a whole day's worth of podcasting.
If you listen to every episode back to back.
Yeah.
We can episode marathon. 24 is actually our 25th episode.
You can marathon this now.
Episode.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
I like it.
Nice.
Yeah.
We can get cheaper car insurance now.
Because we're one day old?
25. So everybody, what, 24, 25, you start getting...
25, yeah.
There you go.
It's 25 years, though, but... Yeah. That's cool.
I'm you know...
I was referring to the same joke that he made on episode 21 that said we're of drinking age, and I said, yeah, 21 weeks.
Totally.
Some countries.
We're obviously in a good mood, but how have you guys been the last 7 days? Or I guess 6, because we're recording a little early.
It's true. Not a lot's happened in the last few days.
It's still not quite the end of our work week yet.
Yeah. Week's gone by fast. That's nice.
It really has. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Honestly, I haven't done a whole lot except play Assassin's Creed this week.
You still enjoying it?
And, oh yeah.
Nice.
More and more every day.
How much of it a day are you playing?
It depends on the day. I've been trying to play like an hour or two a night.
Nice. Okay. That's a
before
good
bed.
pace. So
Yeah.
you'll beat
or
it
the
in
weekend I've
about
been
38
playing.
years.
Probably.
That's a Ubisoft game.
Yeah, looking at the map, I feel like I've already played, I think 30 hours, something like that, when I looked at my time, and I feel like I've only uncovered a small part of the map, and it's
how I felt in Origins.
It excites me, is I love that feeling of knowing that I have so much more to go, and the game world is exquisite.
Good word.
Do you feel compelled to buy a time saver pack?
No.
Good.
I want to make my time last as long as possible.
See, that's why I'm not going to get that game, because I don't want it to. I don't want to be stuck in one game for 100 hours.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'd enjoy it, but
yeah. I said that for me. That's my bread and butter in games. I like games that last a long time. So
absolutely,
yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot, and
that's good.
That's all I've done this week.
Have you played any more Forza Horizon 4?
No,
just okay. Stuck on Assassin's Creed.
I want to because I think they're in the winter season. Or no, I think it just changed again today. I wanted to play in the winter season, which was this past week.
Well,
but every time I wanted to play a game, I just wanted to play Assassin's Creed.
It's like the weather here in the Pacific Northwest. It changes every week.
It'll be back in 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks.
Speaking of which, this particular fall season is gorgeous right now for the Pacific Northwest.
It's still really warm. It's almost 80 degrees.
Yeah, but it's gorgeous with the trees changing colors. And
it's just weird to have 80 degree days this late in October.
Puts me in the mood for some cozy games.
Cozy games.
Cozy games. What's a cozy game, Kyle?
Dead Space.
That's a cozy game?
Oh, yeah.
Makes you all feel all warm and fuzzy.
For me, it's that time of year, you know. Halloween's creeping up. I gotta experiment with some scary games.
I would think a cozy game would be something more like Forza Horizon. Something you can just... You don't have to particularly pay too much attention to, but you can get lost and do different things. And yeah, that's how I consider a cozy game. It's a relaxing game.
I consider cozy being like you're so immersed in the game.
Okay, I get it.
You don't even look anywhere else. Like you're in the game.
Speaking of Dead Space, how was your week?
It was great. I had my 31st birthday.
Congrats.
Thank you.
On your level.
And I thought I wanted to really take this endeavor of streaming to the next level. So right now I've been streaming Dead Space.
Yeah.
Which just had its 10th anniversary. So for me, the last time I played it, I think it was back in like 2010, right before Dead Space 2 came out. So it was really fun to revisit after all these years. What strikes me the most about the game, playing through it once more, I didn't realize how detailed the environments are. Because I played on a console, but right now I'm playing on PC, which I've never done before. And I feel like the game is amped up to 11 with the lighting and sound design. And I'm appreciating it a lot more.
And
like, it still looks really slick.
You're playing it on PC, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
on Steam.
It does look really good, and honestly, on your streams, it looks like it runs really well.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to plug it anyway, twitch.tv/pushing buttons, but honestly, Kyle playing Dead Space has been a joy to watch.
Oh, good.
Your emotions when you're playing it are genuine. Like,
Yeah.
when
I try to
you're
be.
when you're yelling at enemies, it doesn't seem like you're trying to be. It seems like it's just naturally you. Like,
Oh,
it's
good.
Kyle to like not even. It's like 17 or 18. It's it's a joy to watch.
Oh, I'm glad to hear.
Quick aside though, I can't watch you play when my daughter's around though.
Oh, because the words.
Because I swear a lot. I swear a lot.
Yeah, so I know I was telling you guys the other week how whenever she drops something or something drops, now she's going like, oh she, and we think she's saying,
Wow.
that's weird. And when I was watching Kyle the other night on my iPad, you happened to say that particular phrase, and right after you said it, she said it.
Uh-oh.
And so we're like, no, turn down the volume.
Oh.
My wife was like, hey. Yeah, so
Oh, crap. I'm pissing off your wife. That's not good, man. You should have talked to me in chat.
no,
like,
it's
turn
not
down
your
the
fault.
language.
It's my fault for playing it when she's around. So
At least
Yeah.
she can listen to this podcast
Yeah.
yes,
because we do edit it if necessary, or I edit it if necessary.
Mainly just editing me.
It's usually you.
Yeah.
Sometimes me, and once or twice him.
But I will keep that in mind for future.
don't worry about it.
Do I need to add the mature content button?
I already clicked it. You have to be logged in and click I accept to be able to watch our stream.
Oh,
It's just something that I set as default on our channel.
Well, you accepted the terms.
I did.
So it's
Because
on.
I am of age.
He's over 17.
I thought I was in trouble, but it didn't sound like it. So,
No. I told you, you're not in trouble.
but
Listen with my headphones.
That's a good call.
other than that, I made some more upgrades to my equipment. I'm learning a lot about the whole process. Like,
Yeah.
it's really fascinating. Like, how much effort it takes to get, like, just the right settings.
Yeah, it takes...
Especially audio. Man, it's an endeavor.
Yeah, it really is. Imagine when you start throwing in a webcam and a green screen.
Oh, my goodness. I can't imagine all of that.
Yeah, I've never even gone that far. I don't like watching streams with a webcam, so I probably won't ever stream with one myself.
It's okay. Yeah, it's basically up to your personal preference.
Yeah, but you playing Dead Space, I would love to watch that with a webcam.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd be that interesting in a webcam.
Well, just
feel like
based
your
on your
facial
reactions,
expressions would be,
exactly.
I don't know.
Worth it.
Maybe I'll experiment, but I don't think I'm going to do that anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not quite there yet. I'm not comfortable enough.
Have you done anything else this week?
Yes, I have actually. I also decided to play a bit more Binding of Isaac.
Cool.
I'm getting up there in the runs. Like, I know for me personally, you suggested hard mode. So I'm replaying all the characters'
Good.
runs in hard mode.
Good. It's not even that much more difficult.
It doesn't change a thing, I don't think.
It slightly adjusts the drop rates of like keys and bombs and hearts.
Oh, okay.
And I think it might adjust special item drops, but it's not that much different.
Oh, okay. But yeah, aside from a couple runs of those, I'm really just saving my pent-up energy for Red Dead coming out next week.
Nice.
Well, for you, those of you listening, it's this week. But that's going to be exciting. Like, I'm going to experiment with the capture card this weekend.
Are you going to be done with Dead Space before that comes out?
Oh, I really hope so. I'm trying.
Well, you're already, over
I am halfway
right?
through
So-
it. It's a short game.
Stream the rest of it this weekend,
I think I will. I'll probably do it Saturday.
which is back in time for you guys listening.
Yeah, you should go back and watch the VODs.
Yeah.
Totally. But that's about it.
Cool.
Yeah.
I have not done a whole lot. I did start the career mode in WWE 2K19, which is... It's interesting. It's weird, though, because the story, it's like half in kayfabe, half not. So, like, half the time the characters are in character, the other times they're not. And you clearly do stuff toward the beginning when you're invading NXT that you bought a ticket, your character bought a ticket to go watch NXT with the intention of jumping over the guardrail and getting into the ring and fighting some of their guys, which in real life, that would get you arrested.
Yeah.
But in the game, obviously, it wouldn't. When you're talking to your very first opponent backstage, you guys are friendly, but then in the ring, you're not, which is like, how wrestling works. But then when you're talking to other people from other promotions, it's always in character, even if you're behind the scenes. I don't get how they mix that kayfabe with the non-kayfabe stuff, but it's weird. But it's a fun game. It's still tough, and the loot boxes are stupid, but it is what it is. Kevin's Marvelous Adventures. If you follow us on Twitter, you'll know that I have finished Phase 2.
Oh yeah, are you in Phase 3 now?
I need to start borrowing more movies from Robert.
Oh, it hasn't happened yet.
No.
Okay.
I don't have all of them, so I have to figure out which ones I have. And
I've seen most of them.
like I said, most of them are on Netflix.
Yeah.
But
Like, I just
that's
recently watched the ones that are on Netflix. And I'll probably go back and watch Thor 3 again, just because that was
That's a
fantastic.
fun-ass
it's
movie.
still great.
It's a really good
Yeah.
movie. And Black Panther, I don't know if I'll rewatch, because I just watched it. I have not seen Captain America Civil War.
Oh, I think that's still on Netflix, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Oh man.
And I have not seen
was for a little while.
Avengers Infinity War.
Infinity War.
And I've not seen Ant-Man and the Wasp. So, Age of Ultron,
Oh, wait, Guardians 2.
that's on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
Well,
I
it's
just
Guardians, of
I
course
also
you've seen
just
it.
watched Spider-Man Homecoming recently, so don't
Oh,
need it.
there you go. Yeah.
But yeah, Age of Ultron, I don't remember a whole lot of. I remember enjoying the movie while I was watching it, and it was good, but yeah, we'll talk more about it, I suppose, during our bonus episode coming soon to a theater near you. Ant-Man, I did not care for that movie.
Really?
Wow,
Parts
I'm
of it were
surprised.
kind of funny. That's about it.
Oh.
Parts of it were kind of funny. It felt like the first
Makes
Iron
me
Man
sad.
movie, but even worse.
You didn't like the set pieces or like the action of like, him shrieking and then getting large again? And
I thought that was really gimmicky.
gimmicky.
I found it gimmicky. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's like waggle controls in a Switch game. I found it like unnecessary. I mean, obviously it's part of the character, but
Yeah.
I don't know. The novelty wore off very quickly.
I'm surprised.
When he was in training mode and he kept screwing up with the ants and then like growing while he was still in the ground, I was like, okay, I get it. They did it twice, and now he's going through keyholes and it's like, yeah, it was funny, but it wasn't. It was a Marvel movie. It wasn't
love
marvelous.
the end battle of that movie because it's so like small in scale.
Yeah.
And it's-
Yeah, that was
it's
that. Okay, that
hilarious.
was good. In the girl's like toy
Yeah.
set there that she had, that was clever. I did enjoy that, but the movie overall, I did not.
I'm
did
surprised.
not.
That was one of my
Yeah.
favorite Marvel movies.
I love it.
Really,
I really enjoyed that one because it was so different in tone from the rest of them.
most people that I've talked to did enjoy that movie. I might have gone in with higher expectations because
That
I
could be.
know my fiance really enjoyed it when she saw it in theaters.
I think you're notoriously harder to please though too. So
I'm pleased by weird things. That came out weird. Like different times, I want different things in my entertainment. I don't know.
that's fair.
Anything else you've been up to?
Watching a crap load of wrestling. I stopped watching Raw and SmackDown every week, and now I'm just watching NXT and the Mae Young Classic, and gonna start getting back into Ring of Honor and trying to watch New Japan, but I don't want more subscriptions, so we'll see how that goes. Anyway, memorable moments.
In video gaming.
Segue. That was not a
Yes.
segue. So when we say memorable moments, I'm talking about anything that made you gasp, cry, laugh out loud, anything that sticks out in your mind as something
Shriek.
something
terror.
that made you either really love or really hate a game. And we're only going to go through a few each, I would imagine.
I want to clarify that for me personally, I'm going to try and avoid not bringing up anything from the top 5 games podcast that I already discussed.
It doesn't matter if you do. There's going to be times when we talk about stuff from previous episodes.
I know, but
We're the only ones that have listened to every episode.
that's a good point. Yeah, basically. That's okay. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. So you can talk about whatever, because we didn't like talk about specifically. Like I know there's a couple on top of my mind I'm going to talk about that I've mentioned in other episodes. In fact, I'll kick one off with the ending of Mass Effect before the final battle with Saren. When you're talking to him, and there are different ways that conversation can go, but when Saren ended up realizing what he was doing was wrong, and he was trying to fight the indoctrination of the Reapers, and he ends up shooting himself in the head.
That was pretty shocking.
That blew me away.
Yeah.
And then when I realized shortly after that there are other ways that conversation could have gone with him, but this was just one way, I was really glad that's how mine went because it impacted me that much, and that's when I fell in love with that game.
Mm-hmm.
It still gave you like a semblance of choice. Like the illusion of choice that the Mass Effect series would not, really include in future installments.
Yeah.
Because it basically
essentially
led to the same ending.
But it was just the story of it is what hooked me, and that was like the ultimate like, oh, Saren's not a bad guy. He's just been doing bad things because of what's been done to him. And that's what I love about villains is when they're more relatable, and that turned him from a robotic, like, I'm evil for the sake of being evil character to a relatable character that I actually liked by the end of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I'd read the book before that, but
Probably helped a lot.
yeah, it did throw a lot of context into his character, though, and I really appreciated that.
I mean, I think for me, when I think of memorable, I think of moments of awe and like moments of, well, just moments where you feel smaller than you feel like you are. Like you're a much smaller thing than a bigger world.
Okay.
So I think one of the most memorable moments for me, I mean, this just happens to be the first thing I think of. I remember in BioShock Infinite, when you first go up to, I can't remember the name of the place now.
Columbia?
Columbia, thank you. It's when you first exit, I think it was like a rocket or something that you were sitting in that teleports you up there. But when it comes out and you see the whole place, Columbia, and the sky,
Yeah.
and later on when you exit that pod and you see the 3 statues of the presidents, like I was like, oh man, this is going to be an amazing game. That did not turn out to be the case, but still.
It was a good game. It
It
wasn't
was
incredible, but it was
not
good.
what I expected. I was expecting a lot more choice in that game.
Really?
Yeah. Compared to BioShock and BioShock 2.
Well, yeah, but when that game was being marketed, they specifically said it was going to be different than the other BioShock games.
I know, but it was really straightforward game. Like it felt like it was going to lead to the same conclusion no matter what choice you made.
It would. It
But
did.
I mean, there was a choice where you choose either the bird pendant or the cage pendant for Elizabeth's Joker. And that didn't really amount to anything, I don't think.
I don't remember if it did or not.
Yeah.
But I just remember those opening moments when you're walking through Columbia without, attacking anybody. Like you're just getting a feel for the atmosphere of the
Before
game.
you go up to the stage and you
Yeah.
have the choice of throwing the ball at the guy.
That's another thing. Like it doesn't matter what you do in that choice.
Right.
It ends up in the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, did we really have choice to begin with in that game?
That's a deep. Do you really have choices in the things that you do, or is everything predetermined?
Well, I don't want to
Okay.
scratch the surface yet. I mean,
No
I'm sure on my
philosophical talk here.
streams that might turn up here and there. But I just feel like those opening moments of the game, introducing you to Columbia and how it works, like that was just like, wow, they really put a lot of thought into this. That was incredible.
That's why I thought the game was good, is because of the thought that they put into the world design and then the character of Elizabeth. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Jumping off that, I love that game personally too, but the ending, like the end revelation of all the different lighthouses, and I know it gets talked about a lot, but
Yeah.
for me that was a great moment. Just thinking of all the possibilities, like if they had made more games, which they haven't, which makes me sad now that I'm thinking about it. But just is like mind blowing that whoa, this is like there's alternate dimensions, parallel reality, stuff like that.
I have to mention, I was really disappointed with the base game's ending, but the DLCs made up for it.
See,
never
I haven't
did play
even
those.
played the DLCs.
Yeah. Never did.
Oh, you gotta play those. They make the story that much more cohesive.
I was satisfied with it. I loved the ending of
Yeah.
it.
To me, it was like me wanting more of a satisfying conclusion. I felt like it was way too open-ended of a conclusion.
It was kind of open-ended, but it was. I thought the way that I felt about it is that it was intentionally open-ended for you to draw your own conclusion
Well,
of sorts.
usually that's the case. Like a lot of the BioShock games, it's up to your player choice,
Right.
To
Up to your
influence the-
interpretation.
Yeah, and I just feel like BioShock Infinite's conclusion, it was too defined. I wanted more freedom of choice in that game.
Oh.
I felt like it wasn't there compared to previous games.
I think Mass Effect kind of threw me off of wanting choice, so that's why I like
I see.
Bioshock.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Nice.
Yeah.
I got another one.
Okay.
I hate to do this though because it's a huge spoiler for a specific game.
Before you do that, what game is it?
It's the Walking Dead season 1.
Okay. Spoilers ahead for Walking Dead season 1.
I know you guys were thinking about playing them.
I might not.
Game's
Eventually.
like 10 years old?
Yeah,
I don't care.
You're okay.
Well,
with
it was 2012, so it's 6 years old.
Okay,
still.
6 years, yeah.
But
yeah. Spoilers ahead.
basically, what I love about The Walking Dead Season 1, and this is my favorite Telltale game aside from Borderlands. So you play Lee up to a point until the final episode,
Mhm.
and then you make a choice as Clementine for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically how you kill Lee as a character because he
Right.
gets bit.
Right.
And that shift in perspective, like even thinking about it now, I'm getting chills. Like thinking of how awesome that was for a Telltale game.
Yeah.
That whole final episode just encapsulated what I loved about the story. Because it was about a man raising a girl. You know, they weren't related to each other. But they were able to form a father-daughter bond. And you felt like you were the father of Clementine because you were making choices to raise her.
Right.
Like you would actually dictate the dialogue that would, you know, make her remember things. And that would play up again in future seasons of the game,
Mm-hmm.
like in season 2. And that's what I loved about it so much. But then season 3 kind of made it all stupid again because they took it away from Clementine and made it a different character.
Whenever
which is dumb.
Whenever I think of Lee and Clementine, I think of Joel and Ellie.
Yeah, that's another good example.
Thankfully, you didn't really have choice in The Last of Us with
Yeah.
Joel and how the ending of that game went. 'Cause I love that they had a defined ending in that game. That one I didn't want choice on.
Yeah.
It was a great ending for
It
what
was
it
the
was.
perfect ending to
yeah.
that game.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of my earliest memorable moments that I could think of was playing Halo for the first time.
It sounds likely.
The first time...
Wait, you play Halo?
Oh,
Currently, no. I used to.
What's your gamer tag, bro?
But the first time you encounter the Flood was really memorable for me because
Oh yeah.
back then, there wasn't a whole lot of games I played. I just kind of had like an Xbox and I would just, you
It
know,
was your DVD player.
I don't even think the first Xbox played DVDs.
I think it did.
Did it?
Because the games were DVD discs.
I don't remember. It's been a long time, but you know, it's not like I was working or anything, so you know, I'd just get games whenever I could, like rent them or whatever. And I remember renting the first Halo, but yeah, the first time you encounter the Flood, and it was like a point in the game where it almost became like a horror game for a couple levels.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that level
And-
was called the Library, and you were there with Johnson, I think, and then you unleash them. Like it's your
Well-
actions and guilty sparks.
Well,
Actions.
343 Guilty Spark, I think, is the chapter. The library is after that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
When you first encounter them, it's 343 Guilty Spark. You can go in the swamp, and it's already like moody and
Oh, that's
atmospheric.
right. Yep, I remember.
And then
now.
you go into the
Yep.
bunker, and they have like little cutscenes that are the helmet cams from the other soldiers.
Mhm.
You just find the helmet, and you're watching the scene, and you're like, "Oh my god, what's going to happen?" And that was memorable for me because I still don't play scary games, but then
Right.
I didn't, and so it was like, "You're putting a scary game in my sci-fi shooter," you know. And,
Too spooky for Robert.
and for the longest time, I never played Halo after that. Like I stopped there, not because it was scary, just because I got lost
Oh,
and I couldn't find my way out of the bunker. And it was before I knew about like online game walkthroughs and stuff.
Yeah.
So I kind of stopped, and then I went back. I think probably a year or two later and played it. But that was the first like really memorable moment for me, was being scared of all those little popcorn flood. You shoot them and they go pop.
It's like any alien game you play. There's those rooms where you crawl through and it's got the eggs everywhere, and you know at some point crap's going to go down and
Yeah.
you're going to have to kill all the little head crawlers or the head. Like even Half-Life 2 with the head crabs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to mention Ravenholm.
That
from
was one I
Half-Life
was
2.
going to mention as well.
You go for it.
Well, in Ravenholm is when you make the escape from Black Mesa, or is it you're on your way to Black Mesa?
Black Mesa. That's the first game.
Wherever you get the gravity gun.
Uh,
It's right after you get the gravity gun.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was that? City 17? No, it was after you escaped the city.
It's like their hideout. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, I was thinking it was Black Mesa.
But you meet Dog, and you get the gravity gun, and
Right.
you play fetch with Dog.
And Ravenholm's the first level that you go to after that, after getting your, I guess, training, for the lack of a better term, with the gravity gun. And the first thing that you see after you walk into that little barn are the saw blades on the wall, and they're blocking your path for a reason. So you are like, okay, this is made out of metal. I can grab it. You grab it, and a zombie with the head crab starts walking by. So your first reaction is to click the trigger button and shoot, and you're like, oh my god, this changes everything.
It does.
I can kill things with saw blades with the gravity gun.
Yeah.
It was... It made a gun for science that much more badass.
It just turned like a grandiose moment into a genuine way of playing the game.
Right, and there were other like traps and stuff in the game that you could manipulate with the gravity gun, like
man.
the ways you could drop cars and stuff by
Yeah.
cutting ropes and
You know, you could throw exploding red barrels,
yeah, exactly.
fun stuff like that.
Yeah, the gravity gun changed the way that a lot of people even design games now.
Oh, yeah.
because before that, guns were just guns, and that one didn't shoot bullets. You had to find stuff to shoot for, and it just changed. It changed the first person shooter, I think, because it led to games like Portal being made.
Yes, thankfully.
Yeah, and Portal was... I love Portal.
I
and
mean,
Portal
there's
2.
also a moment in Half-Life 2 later on where you get the super gravity gun, and you realize you can grab soldiers with it.
Yeah.
God, that was a great moment.
That was in episode 1 or episode 2? I think it's the end of episode 1.
No, it was the end of the base Half-Life
was
2
it?
game. Yeah,
God, my memory's horrible.
yeah. It was basically at the very end of the game,
Okay.
and your gravity gun gets supercharged.
Oh, yeah, it's when you're going up the fortress to
To the top.
Yeah.
And man, that was awesome. That's a hell of a fun game.
Yeah, especially the way they did it, too, because it was like some thing that was pulling all your guns away from you.
And the gravity gun was like,
The gravity's like, nope, not me, and it just gets supercharged and falls back in your hands.
yeah, so cool.
Nice.
There was one badass moment, and the only reason I remember the game Black is because of this one badass moment. It's the first-person shooter is on the Xbox and
I
PS2.
remember.
I do remember. It was like late gen, like right before the next gen came out.
I believe you're correct, yeah.
Yeah.
The only reason I remember this game is because of one superiorly badass moment. I'm going to coin the phrase superiorly. So there was a point in the game, and I don't remember the context of this level, but at the end of this level, you're supposed to clear out 4 different barns full of enemies. And the barns were all run down, and it was there was obviously a war going on in there, or a battle going on there. So I'm running around trying to find all the people, 'cause the level's over once you kill all the dudes. I thought I killed all the dudes. I was looking for this last guy everywhere. I was getting so pissed. I ran all the buildings, upstairs, downstairs, everywhere. Couldn't find whoever I needed to kill. So I just said, screw it. I was on the top floor of one of the barns, and I threw a grenade randomly, and it lands into a hole in the roof of another barn. Apparently blows a dude up because it said that I killed the last enemy and the level was over.
Oh yeah, because it had like the destruction elements in the atmosphere. You can blow up things.
I don't think so. I think
In
those
the
were already
environment?
pre-made.
Oh, they were pre-made.
I believe so.
Okay.
But I just happened to be able to play basketball with a grenade and get it across a field into another barn accidentally.
Yes.
And kill the last guy that I've been looking for like 5 minutes. It was just... I was glad that I had a witness, too. My little brother was watching. I did that. I was like, whoa, what? I stopped playing, and I was like shaking there for a minute out of how awesome that was. It made me feel like a complete badass, superiorly badass.
Superiorly.
I'm sure you guys remember fondly like cheat codes in games.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I miss those
So
days.
I remember hugely in Grand Theft Auto.
Superiorly.
Grand Theft Auto, I think it was Vice City.
Okay.
You could get a cheat code for the Gatling gun, and then in San Andreas you can get it as well. But it was like way more fun to use. So I just remember hopping on the train with the Gatling gun, and as it would pass cars, I just would be like mowing all the cars down. And then once the police sent helicopters, I just shoot them out of the sky as the train was going through the countryside or the
Weren't
the
cheat
cities.
codes just amazing?
I missed them so much.
Yeah, now you have
Yeah.
to pay for a... I'm
Yeah.
not going to do that again. I'm not going down the microtransaction
I mean,
road right now.
even like online games, there would be like exploits. I remember in SOCOM 2, there was a certain map where if you threw a grenade and you would jump at the time it would go off, it would launch you like face first into the wall, and basically you would clip through the wall. So you could shoot. Woo! Oh,
That's a microphone.
That's a microphone right there. Hi. I was trying to make a motion to indicate you could go through the map and around it and shoot at the enemy forces, and they couldn't hit you because they would hit the wall.
That's great.
But it was little moments like that made SOCOM 2 fun.
Yeah.
The last game I remember playing with cheat codes is Crackdown. And there's actually like a feature built into the menu. It was called the Keys to the City.
Yeah,
you
right.
That at all?
That was after you beat the game, though, right?
Yeah. I think it was actually like an add-on.
Okay.
Like it was a DLC, but it was like a free DLC
Okay.
back in the day. Yeah, that's the last time I remember having cheat codes in a game.
Isn't
I
it?
missed the off-the-wall ones. Not necessarily like to have invincibility
Yeah,
and all that stuff,
right.
which is nice. But like just, like
WWE
super
2K19
jumping and
has
stuff
big
like
head
that.
mode.
Nice.
Yeah, like GoldenEye had like DK mode where the
The
characters
long
had
arms
DK,
and the big head.
and then big head mode, and then paintball mode. That was cool.
Yeah.
I remember that well. That was really fun.
I always found it impressive that, specifically with Duke Nukem 64, I never remembered the cheat codes, but my fingers did, because it was like button combinations you had to press in the main menu.
Yeah.
And my fingers always knew what the codes were, but my brain didn't know what my fingers were doing, because it was just that, it's muscle memory.
It really was, yeah, like the Konami code.
Yeah, exactly.
We all know what that is.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can say that off the top of your head, but...
Do you know the Konami code?
I know of it. I can't tell you what it is.
That's a trivia question for Robert, I think, right there.
Nah, I gotta make it a little, I try to...
No more
It's a
Zal
good
bars.
balance. I think I make a good balance.
I haven't forgot that name since then. Zalbar.
Zanzibar. It's a callback to what, episode 3?
I think it was 3
Was
or
it that
2 or
early?
3.
I think it was 20 weeks
It
ago.
was early. Early in our lifetime.
Have there been any like specific achievements or trophies in games recently? Because I could think of one.
I know exactly, because I'm playing Dead Space again
Yeah,
without achievements, because the Steam version doesn't have achievements.
correct, right.
So, in that game, I remember there was one achievement. That's the Don't Be Cocky Kid achievement.
Okay.
So, there's a section of the game I've already played through where I'm shooting at the asteroids. So, basically, in that particular section of the game, you have to stay above, I think it's like a ridiculously high level of hull strength. It was like 60 or 50. And that's really freaking hard to do. It took me hours to do it.
Oh God.
But that was like, I think one of the last achievements I had to get before playing through the game on impossible mode with only the plasma cutter, which was ridiculously easy. Because, ammo drops like nothing
Right.
for the gun that you're currently holding in that game. But that one in particular was like really frustrating in a bad way. But I got it. So
I guess it's memorable.
it's memorable in a bad way.
I had the one that I was thinking of was also very, very frustrating. It was the last achievement I needed in Spelunky to get 100%.
Oh,
And it's the no gold achievement.
okay.
I forget what the actual achievement's called, but it's going through an entire run without picking up any gold, which is nearly impossible because you blow anything up, the walls have gold in them. There's gold in pots, there's jewels everywhere,
That
and
sounds
stuff
hard.
can just fly around
That's
because
right,
of the
yeah.
physics of the game. There's stuff flying everywhere.
That does sound hard.
So if you're like throwing a bomb at something, you got to make sure there's no gold in the wall, or otherwise you're probably going to get hit with it. And then in the last boss fight, the way to kill him, I guess minor spoiler alert, is you have to make him smash through the ground and fall into a lava pit. But there are gems and gold in those bricks that he breaks when falling down, and you have to be down there and then jump out to make him jump down, or otherwise he'll just keep jumping side to side.
Yeah.
So you have to use your whip to whip gold out of your way and make sure that you're
Wow.
jumping out of the way of gold. And if you're not looking down, because the levels are vertical, you start at the top and now you're here, but you go to the bottom, and you have to make sure of every step, every placement of everything you do is so careful. And when I got that, I believe I was streaming that.
Oh, really?
And oh my God, it was one of the biggest reliefs of my life.
I would love for you to post that on the website as another video.
I could see if it's still saved
would
as a
watch
Twitch
that.
file. I don't think it was saved.
Oh, no?
I don't know. This was years ago.
Oh, okay.
This is when I was playing Spelunky.
I thought you had
regularly.
a YouTube channel.
It wasn't on there.
Oh, okay.
It was just on Twitch.
Okay.
But yeah, getting 100% in that game with only 20 achievements. Each of those achievements meant something. There's one achievement you can get really easily, and that's just by playing 1,000 runs. And all you do is just restart run, restart run, restart run.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to cheese that, which I did.
That's a lot of runs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame you for doing that.
Yeah.
I don't think I've had any memorable achievements.
Really?
I will say it was really fun getting all the achievement or the trophies for Spider-Man
Yeah.
recently.
Do you know that's the #1 platinumed game on PS4?
I could. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I believe that. Yeah,
That's not surprising. Yeah.
'Cause it was
It's like
really
10%.
easy. Yeah.
I think 10% of players have platinumed that game. I still haven't because I haven't gone back and gotten the hidden landmarks. But there's DLC coming out for it.
Exactly. Yeah, next week. Well, the day this podcast comes out, I think. So I think it comes
might
out
be
on
right.
Tuesday.
You might be right. Yeah.
Yeah. Normally, I don't really achievement hunt or anything, so I never liked actively trying to. Oh, I got to do this
Right.
to get an achievement. So I'd say the ones I was most proud of was 100%ing Call of Duty 2 on the 360, and for that there was no multiplayer achievements. It was just campaign achievements. And the last one was beating the entire campaign on the hardest difficulty.
Yeah.
And I'd never done that before, and I've never done it since. But that took me a while, and I was really proud to get 1,000 points for that game.
That was when achievements were still pretty new.
Yeah,
'Cause that was an
everyone was still
early
trying to find their
360 game.
like, how are we gonna work these?
Yeah.
Mm.
I almost got 100% in Modern Warfare 2. There was one Spec Ops mission I could not do on the hardest difficulty, and that was the one that, God, my brother and I were playing that for hours. Hours, and we tried it days later, and then days after that, we tried it again. I needed to get 3 stars on that one, which was completing it on Veteran, to get my last 2 achievements in that game. I never got it, so I think I had 960 out of 1,000 on that. Yeah, that was when I was an achievement whore, though.
Yeah, it's definitely not as glamorous as it used to be
Yeah.
back in the 360 days.
Well, there's still. I remember. I just read a story, I didn't read the story. I didn't read the article, but the headline of a guy that is apparently getting 300 platinum trophies a year.
Whoa.
On PlayStation.
Jeez.
Like he's on a mission to platinum every PlayStation 4 game. Apparently.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wonder what he
Sorry,
does for a
playing
living.
footsie. Huh?
Wonder what he does for a living.
Probably streams would be my guess.
That's a good point.
Got it, flaunt it.
Yeah. We got anything else? I didn't have any other locked and loaded ones, but
Honestly, I'm going to ask you guys a question.
Sure.
And I'll
honestly, I
start-
will answer a question.
Do you have like significant moments from when you were a kid that first drew you to gaming as a hobby? Like, do you remember like your first video game played? Like why you played it?
It was Sonic the Hedgehog.
Really?
Yeah, that's why I still think so fondly of it now.
Huh.
Sonic the Hedgehog is the first game I have any memory of playing because I watched my dad play it and it looked different than other games that I saw him play.
Yeah.
Because he had an NES before that. And when you're a kid, looking at the original Legend of Zelda doesn't appeal to you.
Right.
At least it didn't to me. Sonic the Hedgehog was fast, and that appealed to me at the time. And still does to this day, I guess. But yeah, I saw that, and with Sonic 2 and then Sonic 3, I was a gamer.
Yeah, exactly. I know for me personally, like I didn't really have my own console as a kid until I owned a Nintendo 64. That was my first. Yep. And there's so many big moments, memorable moments from having an N64 back when it came out. I think the biggest one for me was having the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. So basically, the whole game just totally opened up my lack of video game experience at that point. Like, I felt like I was exploring this whole world for the first time.
Do you want to
Every
hear,
moment of that game is memorable to me.
Do you want to hear a kind of embarrassing story about me and that game?
What's that?
So we got that game. I say we, me and my brother. We got that game for Christmas the year it came out, but it came out a little bit before that. And I had a buddy at the time who I've known since I was 4 years old. Still talk to him every now and then to this day, but he had the game and he had already beaten it or had played a lot of it. And so this was before we had like much internet access. We had 56K, but didn't want to tie up a phone line all the time for this stuff. So when I started playing the game, I called my buddy. He said, "Hey, I finally got Zelda. My parents got it for me," and was so excited. It was Christmas morning, mind you. So
That's when I got it too.
He's busy with his family, and his family's like, "Okay, you can talk to him for a minute, but then hang up because we got Christmas stuff to do."
Yeah.
A few minutes later, he gets another call. "Hey, how do I find that sword? I don't know how to crawl," or because you have to crawl through the tunnel
In
to get
Kokiri Village.
Yeah. I asked him how to get the sword, how to get the shield, how to get out of the maze. It took me, I think, it was probably an hour and a half before I stopped calling him while playing that game because his parents yelled at him for keeping on answering the phone. Because obviously it was before cell phones, and we were like, what year did that come out? Like 98?
Yes, 98.
So, yeah, I was 10 years old, almost 11 years old at the time. I still think about that from time to time. I'm a little embarrassed by it, but thinking back, it's pretty great.
Man, the biggest moment in that game for me, if I had to pick one out of all of them, it was when you first pull out the Master Sword.
Yeah.
As young Link, and you become adult Link.
Yeah.
Like, that was, like, mind-blowingly huge at the time to a 11-year-old kid.
I want to hear about Robert's earlier
Go ahead.
moments.
I was just going to say, my earliest memory, I think, is playing Duck Hunt.
Really?
On my cousin's.
I don't think I played that till way later.
Yeah, what was that? Was that NES?
Yeah.
Yeah, playing that.
With the light gun?
Yeah. And I always thought that was so cool. Like, when I was little, you're like, shooting a gun at the TV and it's shooting it. It was like the greatest thing ever. And, but I think the first game that really made me, like, want to start gaming and get into all that was, because I never had a console till after this, was playing Grand Theft Auto 3 on my cousin's PS2. See, he's like 10 years older than me, so he had all that stuff. He's a teenager then. He had all the cool gadgets and stuff. So whenever we'd go visit them, it's like, yeah, he's got the stuff. so
he's got the goods.
He's got the goods, man. I watched Jackass there for the first time too. That was great.
Oh yeah.
I hate that show.
That was a good show.
But yeah, playing Grand Theft Auto 3 on his PS2 and just like, wow, driving around the world, and I've discovered a lot of games on his PS2, and that was what really made me like, oh, I want to get one of these. I want to play games at my house,
man.
And then after that, it was the 64 was the first one I had, and Super Mario, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer.
Oh yeah, they just released
game.
that. It's on sale on GOG, or at least it was last week, I think.
I saw that on the Twitter, and that's why I said it makes me want to buy a computer and play it.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, those are my earliest days.
Yeah. Nice. Let us know your guys' biggest or earliest memories, however you want to let us know of that. You can tweet us, comment on this video, and we'll look at it. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Might make fun of you. Please make fun of my embarrassing story. That was great. But you know what time it is.
Trivia time.
It's trivia time.
Trivia.
We still need a jingle for trivia, but I guess if it was more recurring than it is.
Yeah.
Let's get
Maybe we can start
trivial.
Trivia now.
Let's get trivial.
So, I was working on this about 15 minutes before we recorded the podcast. That's what I was doing on my phone when I said I was prepping for the podcast.
Amazing preparation. Nice.
Yeah. So, it's not as planned as normal.
Okay.
Are there any stakes? Oh. You didn't think of stakes, did you?
No, I didn't. I didn't get that far. What would you guys like the stakes to be? Before I even give you the topic.
Oh, man. I think I already know what you're going to tell me.
I have nothing in my brain.
Never mind.
Because you can make the stakes about me, but it would be interesting, I think, if you guys pit each other against
Is it one? So all the questions are about one subject? Or?
You each have one. Yeah, it's one subject.
Okay.
But you guys each have separate questions, and then there's a tiebreaker set as well.
Oh, man. I'm going to lose again.
So what are the stakes?
Well, I know Kyle's going to want me to play a scary game if I lose.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be fun.
What game do you want him to stream?
Stream it.
What game do you want him to stream?
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Banners suck.
I don't own it, though.
Okay. What do you
I
know?
can gift it to you. Or I could
That's a good point.
I could give you my login or whatever.
No.
That'd be boring, though.
Yeah, that's why I haven't done it yet.
I don't know.
We'll think of something.
TBD.
We'll post it on Twitter.
Oh, no. We got to do this now.
We have to edit this, man.
I can't think of something.
Really?
Yeah, I don't want to edit this.
Well, then what about stakes for Kevin?
He's not playing.
No,
I'm
but
just
I
the
mean,
moderator.
whoever wins gets to decide what Kevin does, like last time.
But he didn't even do that last time,
And
so we can't
I can't
count on
stream
him.
anymore either.
Oh, that's a good point.
I need better internet. Hey, anyone at Comcast, if you're listening to this, give me the upload speed that I'm paying for. Thank you.
That was very, very polite way to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slightly angry.
Okay.
We'll
Let's begin.
We'll
Let's
determine the
just play.
stake. We'll
TBD.
determine the stakes on Twitter.
It's not very exciting for the audience, but we're going to try our best to make it entertaining.
This is exciting. Trivia is exciting.
Yeah.
Well, with no
Speak for
stakes on the
yourself.
line.
So you're more of a Sony guy. You're more of a Microsoft guy.
No.
Correct? Kyle's
Well,
the PlayStation guy.
Yeah.
Robert's the Xbox
I mean, I had
guy.
360 all throughout last generation. That was my favorite console.
So there's nothing 360 about this.
Oh, okay.
This is about the generation before.
PS2?
PS2 and Xbox.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
We're talking launch titles.
Oh.
I have a list of 4 games,
That's
and I want you guys to tell me which one was not a launch title.
Ooh. Multiple choice.
It is multiple choice.
all right.
I thought I'd make it a little bit easier, and I'm going to list them in alphabetical order.
Okay.
So, Kyle, for the PlayStation 2, which of these was not considered a United States launch title?
You know, this is interesting because I didn't get a PS2 until like 2002. So I may not know
It
these.
came out the year before.
I thought it came out in 2000.
You might be correct. Either way.
My first game on there was Final Fantasy X.
But you're so good at knowing what years. I guess it's based on your experience with them.
Yes.
So this will be even more interesting.
Yes. We'll see how this goes.
My phone fell asleep. All right. For the PlayStation 2 United States launch,
Yep.
Armored Core 2, Driver 2, Dynasty Warriors 2, Time Splitters. Which does not belong?
Which does not belong.
That's a lot
Correct.
of twos.
I didn't realize that until I was reading them.
I'm going to do process of elimination here. So,
You got Armored
Good
Core
strategy.
2, Driver 2, Dynasty Warriors 2, and Time Splitters.
2.
Not Time Splitters 2. Time Splitters. These were all PlayStation 2 games. I'm not throwing any Trixies in there.
honestly, I feel like Dynasty Warriors 2 was. And then I think Armored Core 2 was.
Okay.
And then I feel like Time Splitters wasn't for some reason. I think that came out a little later.
Okay.
Because I remember that being like a multi-generation launch, I think. Because it was also on GameCube and Xbox.
Which is the same generation.
Right. But PS2 came out way before those two came out. So I'm thinking it's Time Splitters.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
You are incorrect.
Yeah, I thought so.
Then why was that your final answer?
Because I heard your tone, I'm like, yeah, I'm wrong.
It was Driver 2.
Oh.
Time
Oh,
Splitters was a
okay.
launch title.
Wow. Okay.
Interesting.
All right. Robert,
Oh, God.
for the original Xbox
Yes.
United States launch, which of these... I gotta find out what alphabetical order is for these.
This is going to be so much easier because there's so few games on Xbox.
Which of these was not
I didn't have it at launch either, though, so.
a launch
That's
title?
good to know.
Mad Dash Racing, Odd World Munch's Odyssey, Shrek, Splinter Cell. I actually think this one's a little harder.
You know, that is a little harder.
I should have given you a chance to steal, Robert.
That's a good point.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I
Lost
won't steal this
opportunity.
one. If
I'll give you a chance to steal, but it won't count for anything.
Okay.
If he's
Except
if he's
bragging
wrong.
rights.
Correct.
It means I get to raise the stakes on our future steak.
Steak dinner. The winners gotta. The losers gotta buy the winner a steak dinner. That's raising the literal stakes.
But I don't like steak.
It doesn't have to be steak.
I know,
but
it's weird.
It could be. I don't like steak either. It could be just a fancy dinner when we all three go out next, or a beer or an alcoholic beverage.
An appetizer.
Napatizer. Napa know how.
Appetizer.
We're not sponsored by Napa.
I'm just going to say Oddworld.
Is that your
Oh,
final?
That was
answer?
the easiest one to pick.
Yes.
Incorrect.
All right. I think it's Splinter Cell.
Correct.
Yeah.
It was Splinter Cell.
Bravo.
Yes.
If it was Kyle I was asking the Xbox questions to, I would have removed Splinter Cell from the list and put a different game on there. But it actually came out relatively close to launch. It was within a year of launch.
Yeah.
It might have even been within a couple of months. So, okay, 0-0.
Okay.
So the tiebreaker, GameCube launch titles.
Oh, I had a GameCube at launch.
Did you?
Yeah. So it's going to be kind of...
Well, we'll see. We'll let Robert answer first. 'Cause
Okay. Yeah.
you have the
better.
advantage.
That's better. Yeah.
But I won't tell him whether he's right or wrong until after you answer.
Okay.
Yeah. Stakes. For the GameCube, United States launch titles. Which of these was not one of those launch titles? Crazy Taxi. Madden NFL 2002. Mario Party 4. Wave Race Blue Storm. Robert, you're up first. I'm going to put my phone away. Because I know what the answer is. Obviously.
Of course you do.
I looked it up.
And I never owned a game.
I didn't either. I would probably get
Such
this
a
one
good
wrong.
system. I mean, it had some meh games, but at the same time, it had some really great games.
What were the choices again?
Gosh, dang it.
I remember.
Or the first two. I remember the last two.
Crazy Taxi,
Crazy Taxi.
Madden NFL 2002,
Wave Racer.
Mario Party 4, and Wave
Race Blue Storm.
Blue Storm.
Well,
Which of those was not a launch
because
title?
I don't like sports games, I'm just going to say Madden.
And Kyle.
Mario Party 4.
Kyle is correct. It is Mario Party 4. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that you had one at. I knew you owned one, Kyle, but I didn't know that
was extremely
you.
looking forward to it because of Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Gotcha.
I thought that would have been like, a launch title.
Yeah,
like,
that's
we
why
got to start out with Mario Party.
That's why I threw it on there because I
Yes.
figured it would be one that would be viewed as because you got to have a Mario game at launch.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought you would have put Smash Bros. On there.
No.
That's pretty much why everyone bought it.
But it wasn't launched, was it?
No, it came out a month afterward.
See, yeah,
Yeah.
and I knew you would have known that. I because you are a Smash fan.
You know,
Smash fan.
another great launch game was Luigi's Mansion. That
Yeah,
was a
I didn't put
cool
that on there.
GameCube game. That's
They-
actually just got released as a remaster.
I was gonna say that they just re-released it on 3DS.
Yes. Yeah, looks kind of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, trivia.
Yeah.
I won,
Woo!
I think.
You did. Kyle did.
Oh, all right.
So
Cool.
You get a steak.
Well, I don't like steak.
it could be an alcoholic
bad.
beverage. It's an alcoholic beverage. Next time we go out, you
Called
owe
a
him.
steak.
I'd be happy
Robert
with an
owes Kyle
appetizer.
one alcoholic beverage.
Appetizers.
And because I never
I'll share
paid
it
up
with
from
you.
the last
Share
trivia
with you.
game,
Shake on it.
because I never paid up from the last trivia game, I'll buy you each one.
Oh,
So Kyle has 2 free drinks coming his way.
where are we going?
Probably.
We'll figure that out later, and we'll tweet about it. And you can follow us on Twitter at PushingButtonsP. You can follow me at ImpulseG66.
Robert at Too Spooky for Robert.
The number 2, the number 4.
Yes.
Kyle at Monumentus Kyle.
Spelled exactly how you'd think it would be spelled. If you're not already subscribed to us or following us on however you're listening to this podcast, please do that. And thank you for listening to us. Follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/pushingbuttons.
Nope, that's it.
Yep. That's it. Twitch.tv/pushingbuttons.
And I will be twitting.
Twitting. I'm going to twit. I'm going to Twitch.
I'm going to tweet when I'll be streaming.
Ming. Kyle's been streaming a lot, and it seems like it's going to be a recurring thing. But thank
It
you for
will be,
listening
yes.
to us. We appreciate it. And until next week, see you then.
Adios.
I can't wait for Red Dead Redemption 2. Good night.
Love you.